I am Dr. K. Sai Prasad Reddy. Welcome to the subject Software Engineering. In this session, I am going to discuss the topic the relationship between error, fault, failure. Relationship between error, fault, failure. Before going to discuss about this error, fault, failure relationship, just have a look this code. Let us assume that this is executable code. That means this code can be executed. Now here I have used two parameters, that is two variables. One is a temperature and second one is input. Here, say for example, I am assigning the value for the temperature is 100 and the input value is 10. Now, so the second statement, if the second statement gets executes, then it will compare what is the total value of the temperature. And here in this case, I have assigned the temperature for the variable temperature as 100, the value for the input is 10, so the total it will become 110. If the temperature is greater than 100, then print temperature is high, else print temperature is normal. This is a code. So here, if I assign the temperature variable, the value is 100, and for the input variable, the value is 10. So what will be the output? This is the first case. The second case, if I assign the temperature value as a 50 and the input value as a 40, then what will be the output? Just you think once. The first case, if I assign the value for the variable temperature as 100 and the input variable, the value is 10. So what will be the output in this case? If I assign the temperature value as say 50 and the input value as 40, and what will be the output? See, if you execute this code, you will get error, because here there is some mistake in the code. There is some mistake in the code. Here that you check the temperature spelling. This temperature are both having the same spelling. And here in the second statement, here the temperature. So here it is a mistake in the code. The system at the time of execution or compilation, the system will treat this temperature in the second statement, which mentioned in the second statement, will consider as a different variable. So here you will get the error. So why we got the error here? Because it's a mistake in the code. Who will do the coding in the software company? Software developer or software programmer? See, just because of a mistake that is done by the software developer or software programmer during the coding, after during the compilation, so the system will throw the error, right? This is called the error. See now, next. See, now we are going to discuss about the relationship between error, fault, failure. Here, so a person that is a developer, he is also a human being. Sometimes we will do some mistakes. After all, we are human beings. We will do some mistakes. There are chances to do some mistakes. If the developer makes a mistake in coding, so what will happen? Due to this mistake present in the code, so we will get the error. See, the mistake will lead to an error, and as this error is present in this code, and this error will create a fault in the software. This error will create a fault in the software. Here the fault is nothing but the defect. This error will create a defect in the software. This fault is nothing but the defect. the defect is also called as a bug. This bug is also called as an issue. This issue is also called as an anomaly. So, the error which is present in the code because of the mistake done by the person, that is a developer, that error will lead, that error will create a fault in the software. The fault is, remember, the fault is also called as a defect, which is also called as a bug, which is also called as an issue, which is also called as an anomaly. Right. So, if this defect is present in the software, what will happen? Due to the presence of the defect, due to the presence of the fault in the software, that defect, that fault can cause a failure in the operation. What do you mean with failure in the operation? At the end user level, if we perform any operation on that in the particular application, so that operation will get failure. See? So this is called failure in operation. Why we got this failure in operation? Because that defect is present in the software. Why we got the defect in the software? Because there is an error in the code, error in the program. Why we got the error in the program? Because there is a mistake in the coding. Who is responsible for that mistake in the code? Developer, software developer or software programmer. See, just because of this mistake in coding by the software developer or software programmer, we got some error in the program. That error has created a defect or has created a bug or has created an issue in the software. So just because of that fault in the software, that fault can cause failure in the operation. Where we will get this failure in the operation? At the end user level. So if we perform some operation in the application, we will get a failure. Right? See, now it is in the sentence form, error, a human action. Here the human action is the developer action or the software programmer action, the software company. A human action that produces an incorrect results due to the mistake in coding. And what do you mean with a fault? A fault is nothing but a manifestation of an error in a software. What do you mean with the manifestation? Manifestation is nothing but a demonstration to show something. So, the demonstration of the error in a software, which is also known as a defect, which may cause a failure in the operation. So, why we got the fault? Just because of error in the software. That fault will cause a failure. So, what do you mean with a failure? Failure is nothing but a deviation of a software from its expected service. What it means? Because it is not performing the behavior according to the requirement. It is deviating from the requirements. A deviation of a software from its expected service. For example, say it is supposed to do something. Instead of doing something, it is doing some other thing. So there is a deviation in the failure. This is deviation in the software. So the deviation of the software from its expected service is called as a failure. So generally the failure, see, the word error will be always used by the developers or the programmers. In the software company, the word error will be used by the developers or the programmers. Whereas the fault or the defect or issue or bug or anomaly, these words will be used by software testing team. The software test engineers only will use these words: defect, defect, bug, issue, anomaly. The failure of the operation. So this will occur at the end user level actually. So what do you mean with the failure? A deviation of the software from its expected service, from its expected behavior is called failure of the application or failure of the software. Right? Thank you.